Bitcoin and the rest of the market is on a steady grind to the upside. Today we're going to do some top-down analysis of the market and decipher where exactly we're headed to next, whether it be all-time highs or back to retest the lows. So let's check out Bitcoin and other top assets in the cryptocurrency class. Without further ado, to the charts. Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Crypto Neil. We are checking out the Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame, and I bet you really want to know where this goes next. So far, we've had a rejection and retest of this range, and we have not formed a triple tap, nor have we reclaimed this breakdown region and found it as support. We have not come down, kind of forming a lower low on price, like we talked about, and forming a higher low on RSI. So we haven't got that triple tap, or at least the third drive of bullish divergence, but we do have two drives, which is nice. So is this rally going to continue? Well, you can see the RSI is actually reclaiming my bullish control zone. This is just a line I've drawn particularly around the 43 read on RSI. I find that price likes to interact with this zone, and if it is bouncing off this zone, it is typically in bullish structure for price, and if it is holding below, then we are looking at least some downside, sideways consolidation. We are in a bull market, so downside is limited and usually good for dip buying. So with that said, we have reclaimed that on the RSI. The other indicator that I like to use is the BBWP. When you get down to these extreme reads and you get these blue vertical bars, that is when I look for the volatility to expand off that region, and I look for big price moves, especially on a daily time frame. It usually coincides with big price moves when you get volatility expansion. So we do have a little bit further to go of a retracement before getting to these extreme lows. But if you do get a sharp move up and you hold this kind of cyan color, getting follow through, I do think that would initiate a quite large move. The large move is either going to be the one where we come down, sweep these lows, essentially as I had drawn out, form a new lower low where everyone gets bearish and panics, form a higher low in RSI. That's our triple tap. That's our sign that we go for the highs next. To me, that is the nominal entry for a long on Bitcoin. Currently, if you aren't long or short looking for a position in this range, you're kind of at the midpoint of a range because you've tested the lows and you have not yet broken out and found support on this previous line that acted as support for essentially many days, months. So until this happens, I wouldn't be initiating a long. If you had consecutive settles above 89K or 90K, then I would definitely be saying that is a great time to enter a long, or a safer time to enter a long. If we don't get this triple tap in the bottom, if you don't get that nominal entry, you want to enter on confirmation. You don't want to enter in the middle of this range. So waiting for clarification as to whether or not we choose to be bullish or reject and go further to the downside, that's important. And watching your RSI and your BBWP, your volatility and your price strength is important. So if strength on the RSI is showing bullish momentum and you get that expansion in BBWP, struggling with my words today, and that is followed with some type of follow through like this blue line I just drew, that would be, to me, an excellent long opportunity on Bitcoin. So that's the daily time frame. Let's just jump down to the 4 hour. We have had quite a lot of momentum to the upside, and we do have our first drive of bearish divergence playing out. I do talk a lot on this channel about going back to work at McDonald's, and well, you can just draw the golden arches right there. So that's in play for the lower time frames, kind of correcting in this choppy grind to the upside. Typically when you get a series of slightly higher highs and higher lows, Typically, this can be followed by an aggressive follow through to the downside where you sweep all of these resting lows, all of this liquidity in one large move before going further to the upside to take these highs and ultimately retest this range here where we broke down from several days ago. So that's this zone here, actually weeks ago. So that's where I'm looking for the triple tap scenario. You break through all of these resting higher highs and lower lows, or higher lows, sorry. You take that liquidity and then you aggressively move up from the downside. You get this little like fake out on BBWP where you come up, come back down, actually form extreme lows, these blue vertical bars, and then expand. That paired with RSI tapping around the 40 read and then bouncing would be excellent entry points for Bitcoin. So that's going to do it for scrambling up the chart and making a lot of mess. I'm going to jump on into Ethereum while I have the time still. And last we spoke about Ethereum, we did kind of a specialty video. If you haven't checked out that video, please go watch it. It's essentially what's Ethereum's next move on a larger time frame, where I discuss weekly and daily where price of Ethereum is going. Essentially what I alluded to in that video is Ethereum rather, tapping this 1850 region, this weekly demand region. So if we go to the weekly time frame, we can see we had this violent aggressive up move that we never retraced down from for a very, very long time. We are now coming back down and retracing that move. This is healthy price action. You want to back test this region that you broke out from as support. Usually you look for where former resistance was. So we have 1, 2, 3 taps of resistance here. You've broken out from that. You're now retesting that. This is bullish. This is just an automatic long, especially after you get a very, very aggressive, over 50% bleed to the downside. You're looking for some type of bounce at this point. You've already gone to McDonald's and completed the golden arches. So if you're unemployed, you might as well just buy the dip with all the coins you got left. So that being said, on the weekly time frame, we did enter along around the 1850 zone for Ethereum. I do think this is a great swing long opportunity, and you're going to bounce if Bitcoin chooses the bullish scenario that I outlined. And essentially, this is Bitcoin, essentially reclaims this. You get expansion on BBWP and you get RSI in a positive bullish structure. If you get that bullish scenario, I do think Ethereum is going to surprise a lot of people and run very aggressively, coming back inside of this weekly range, flipping kind of this former support resistance zone, and ultimately reclaiming this larger wedge structure that we formed. That would confirm that this is just deviation from this symmetrical triangle, and it would ultimately be looking to take out all of these highs before going much higher and tackling the all-time high. So exciting news for Ethereum. Do I think this LARP line is exactly going to play out? Absolutely not. Price typically doesn't just go straight up or straight down. It kind of has its little swings in between and finds support. I do think this market right now is in a stage where it's really going to try to fool a lot of people. So it's going to catch you off guard if you are day trading or scalping. I do think you can benefit from these swings. However, if you are just an investor looking to buy and hold, and you need to stay safe in the market, then you want to average in on these dips, on these key weekly zones, and then just close your portfolio and don't look at it till all-time highs. Now, I'm not saying these positions can still go underwater. We can still get another test to the downside, absolutely. If we break lower, that is when I reassess the market. That is when I reassess positions. But ultimately, dips are for buying in a bull market. That's what's going to keep you the most safe, and that's when keep your positions from being heavily underwater. You buy bottoms, you don't buy tops. Funny how that works in the cryptocurrency market, yet everyone does the opposite. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. I hope you find this content valuable. If you do, please smash that like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, I really do appreciate it. It does help out the channel, and it helps me grow and provide the content to you guys that you so much desire.